community outlash on a controversial party,
and a potential solution to traffic on the drag.
You're watching KVR News, Austin's leader for live, local UT coverage.
Broadcasting live from the Texas Student Television Studios at the University of Texas. You're watching KVR News at 9, Austin's leader for live, local UT coverage. Your news starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to KVR News for Monday, February 9th. I'm Chelsey Pena.
And I'm Marievel Santiago.
Last week, the Phi Gamma Delta fraternity caused controversy that caught on nationwide when they hosted a border control party. Throughout this week, students at the UT and people across the country vocalized their opinions against the event, claiming it was racially insensitive and offensive.
UT members gathered to march for change and cultural respect after the UT fraternity, Texas Fiji, held a controversial party. Sandy Marin spoke to participants and organizers of the march.
We're really just trying to create awareness and make sure that people are aware that we need education on cultural awareness and really making sure that people are aware of people's identities, and just knowing that there are some things that shouldn't be done when planning parties, and you shouldn't really be, in a sense, mocking people's lives and the way that they live.
About 200 participants marched to the Texas Fiji House, holding signs relaying messages of respect after guests of the Fiji party were seen wearing Border Patrol and construction worker outfits.
We are not a joke. Our lives are not a joke. There is no shame in being a migrant. There is no shame in being a construction worker, and there is no shame in having brown skin. Brown is beautiful.
This needs to stop. Like, our culture is not only ponchos and sombreros. Our culture is more than that, and we need to respect that. They need to respect that.
So this party started an actual conversation to where we can keep on talking about how we can prevent and work with UT so that we can have more cultural awareness about different issues.
Members of the march had a meeting with the campus climate response team to ensure changes would occur on campus.
You know, for us, it's a matter of creating a campus climate that is inclusive and welcoming for all students. And so that's why we take it seriously, and that's why it's important to us that we value the students that are here and that are having issue with these kinds of theme parties.
Sandy Marin, KVR News.
UT's IFC President Lee Luter commented on the investigation of the party.
Just for guys who looked into it, and they haven't really found anything. We have some general language that basically just says to represent the IFC well, but we don't have, as far as what the judicial people have told me, any concrete rules that they, from their perspective, that they violated.
Campus concealed carry has advanced to the Texas Senate, and the controversy is hitting UT. Members of student government introduced a measure Tuesday opposing the Senate bill, which would give private colleges a choice on campus carry, but would mandate it for public universities like UT. The bill has also been filed in the Texas House. UT System Chancellor Admiral William McRaven has spoken out against campus carry, and President Powers has opposed it in the past.
We're hoping to put out a survey just to garner student opinion as far as campus carry is going. One of the things that's happening with the survey is we're hoping to make it, if we're going to do it, we want to do it right.
21 Egyptian male Christians kidnapped in Libya, dressed in orange jumpsuits, were beheaded by ISIS after being forced down on the ground on the Mediterranean Sea. The video is called "The Message Signed with Blood to the Nation of the Cross" and was released by the group's Al Hayat Media Center, according to Flashpoint Intelligence, a global security firm and NBC News consultant. The message implies that Christian nations are now a target for ISIS. In Copenhagen on Saturday, February 14th, a gunman fired multiple shots during a free speech debate, killing one. Later that night, the gunman shot a male guard at the synagogue. The next morning, the gunman was shot when policemen had heard a shootout near a downtown subway station. The name of the 22-year-old gunman has yet to be released.
Protests erupted internationally and on the UT campus last week after 3 Muslim college students were shot in the head, and police and media agencies reported on the incident as a parking dispute instead of a hate crime.
The way that we make race and make Islamophobia a conversation here on campus is to join up with other people on this campus who are fighting against racism.
Hundreds converged on campus Thursday following the shooting death of 3 Muslim students in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Police initially said that the shooting was over a parking dispute, but following international outcry, a federal investigation has begun into whether the incident was a hate crime, and President Obama has condemned the killings.
When this first happened, when it first unfolded Tuesday night, my parents immediately took a second to call me to say, hey, be careful out there. And I laughed at them and I told them that that wouldn't ever happen to me. I'm fine here. I take care of myself. I'm good. After I hung up, I realized how close this hits to home, and that it could very easily have been myself, my friends, anybody on campus, because this was a crime of hate.
The students, 21-year-old Yusur Mohammed Abba Salah, her husband, 23-year-old Dia Shadi Barakat, and her sister, 19-year-old Razan Mohammed Abu Salah, were all shot in the head. Craig Hicks, a 46-year-old white neighbor, later turned himself in and has been charged with 3 counts of murder. Speakers expressed outrage over the initial media coverage and police response to the incident, saying it should have been clear that it was prompted by hate.
I think it's atrocious to see that in the light of this event, the question isn't, oh, this terrorist event happened and we need to protect these Americans and we need to mourn for them. It's more of a question of his motives. And I think it's black and white what his motives were.
The event closed with the unifying prayer. David Malley, KVR News.
Texas' oldest synagogue was moved to Austin this past Friday. The 120-year-old B'nai Abraham Synagogue was moved to the Dell Jewish Community Center from Brenham after more than $500,000 was collected from the donors for the move and renovations. According to Jay Rubin, the CEO of Shalom Austin, the building had not been used in 50 years. It will eventually be open for religious services and educational purposes.
The City of Austin recently received an application for a site plan at 422 Congress. The current owners of the site, MB and MS Enterprises Incorporated, are seeking approval to convert one of their 4 bars into a strip club. This move has raised concern from multiple parties who feel that an adult-oriented business of this type is inappropriate for historic Congress Avenue. Last Friday, the Mexi Art Museum, frequently hosting children and located across from the street from the site, met with the Downtown Alliance to review the application and express their disapproval. The application for the site plan will require approval from the Land Use Commission, who will not take action until a public hearing has been held. A public hearing for a Congress Avenue strip club has yet to be scheduled.
Still to come, how some are celebrating Black History Month.
And a recap of the Austin Marathon.
You're watching KVR News.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
A televised academic seminar put on by the Black Studies Department called Blackademics kicked off its 3rd season last Tuesday and Wednesday in KRLU studios. Nia Wesley shows us how scholars from around the country contributed to the taping.
Blackademics TV kicked off their 3rd season with 2 nights of live taping in the KLRU studios last Tuesday and Wednesday. Blackademics is a presentation that showcases Black scholars from around the world. Speakers present an issue or topic related to the African American demographic and explain research, initiative, and solutions.
There's a set of TED Talks in Austin. There were about 16 talks. I saw like 1 Black person. And so I felt like, well, we can do something that approximates that really nice model. We can do something that thoroughly integrates social media, and we can do something that speaks to and from a Black Studies perspective.
Presenters from across the country came to discuss a wide range of topics like Black incarceration, literacy, media representation, Black economics, and even jazz.
Headed towards prison.
Like, these were definitely new perspectives on things that I'd never thought about.
What music created by this generation today will be sampled by future generations.
So learning more about the history of black business and how our business leaders kind of started a lot more than the narrative of what's talked about with black business owners.
How the incarceration of black and brown men affects families and communities.
I'm trying to write culturally specific narratives that draw on the magical practices of people of the African diaspora.
They sell a company for $1 billion in 9 months. And again, that wealth transfer is missing the black community.
And so we came to KLRU, and we did one night, and they loved it, and we loved it, and it just kind of took off from there, became a partnership.
The show was broadcasted across Central Texas and streamed online nationwide. For more information on the show, visit blackademicstv.org or Blackademics TV ICUSP on Facebook. For KVR News, I'm Nia Wesley.
An Austinite might be calling Mars her home one day. Sonia Van Meter has made it to the 3rd round of finalists for the first manned missions to the Red Planet. 202,000 applicants have now been narrowed down to 100. The first mission will be launched in 2024 after training is completed. Additional crews will take off every 2 years. Filing for student government elections closes tomorrow at noon, and only 41 students have signed up so far to run for 42 positions. Most positions are uncontested or with little competition, with no students in the running for LBJ, pharmacy, and nursing rep, and 2 graduate students, 2 business, and 1 College of Natural Sciences spots open. In the running for president and vice president are executive alliances of Braden Jones and Camilla Degari, and Xavier Rotnovsky and Rohit Mandalapu. Rotnovsky and Mandalapu both work for the Texas Travesty, which often runs joke alliances in student government elections. Mandalapu has listed Camilla as his nickname on the sign-up sheet to run.
Austin's plastic bag ban has proven to be effective nearly 2 years after the ordinance was adopted. The elimination of plastic bags has dramatically reduced the amount of litter, and at least a dozen other Texas cities have joined the Austin in the ban. H-E-B grocery stores do provide shoppers with emergency bags for an extra charge. However, H-E-B spokeswoman Leslie Sweet says that less than 1% of Austin customers actually have to purchase these bags when checking out. For a list of all the facts on bag bans, visit austinbagban.com. Close to half of all rush hour travelers through the drag travel by bus. The future of this busy street may include dedicated bus lanes, commissioners learned Tuesday at the Urban Transportation Commission meeting. The Center for Transportation Research is researching ways to decongest the heavily populated 4-lane stretch. One of the potential solutions involves moving buses to Guadalupe, from Guadalupe to Nueces or San Antonio streets. There's no official word on when this decision could be made.
Current city plans include adding lighting, trees, and wider sidewalks to West Campus as part of the parking benefit program between the city and university area partners. The project initiated in 2012 by replacing free 2-hour parking spots with metered parking spots. The profits generated from the meters go toward the planned improvements. Rio Grande and 23rd Street sidewalks have been improved, and the city will begin to make improvements to 21st, 22nd, and 25th Streets.
File the federal lawsuit challenging a current law that prohibits the company from selling hard alcohol. According to the lawsuit, the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission Code does not allow Walmart to obtain permits for selling hard alcohol due to it being a publicly traded corporation. Lorenzo Lopez, a Walmart spokesperson, said in an email that with the current situation the company is in, prices of spirits are artificially high, which in turn harm Texas consumers. With the lawsuit being filed at a court here in Austin, Walmart currently holds a license to sell alcohol at 546 of their locations here in Texas.
Chipotle Mexican Grill is bringing Australia to Texas. The food chain is importing grass-fed beef from farms in Australia and distributing it all over It's all over the United States. This decision has been created beef with Texas Agriculture Commissioner Todd Staples. He says it is misguided and irresponsible for Chipotle founder Steve Ells to believe that Australian meat is raised more responsibly than cattle in Texas, the nation's leading producer. However, Chipotle says the beef is not up to the par with their standards. More than 15,000 runners participated in the 24th annual marathon, half marathon, and Paramount 5K this weekend. The 26.2 marathon course runs across some of Austin's scenic and historical areas such as Lady Bird Johnson Lake, South Congress Avenue, the University of Texas, and the state capitol. Some of the fastest runners from over 40 countries participated in the event as Austinites and other supporters cheered them on to the finish line. One of those runners was Hyvon Chich from Kenya, who took most of the lead of the women elite. After her body gave out less than a mile from the finish line, Chich determined to complete the course, crawling on all fours to the very end.
And it was great to see all the people out on the course. A lot of people in good costumes, and crowd support was great. So, but that was, it was fun.
Well, February has been unusually warm, but winter is back with a vengeance, I'll say.
It's pretty scary.
Our Cassandra Jaramillo is in the studio live with us. Cassandra, what kind of weather can we expect to see this week?
Well, Chelsey and Marievel, it looks like the weather will be warming up a bit, but some rain is going to stay for the week. I'll have your week's weather forecast coming up on KVR News.
Have a news tip or story idea? Call the KVR News tip line, 475-8181.
Welcome back to KVR News. Well, it was a gloomy and chilly Monday today. Temperatures right now are in the low 40s, but luckily temperatures tomorrow will be a little higher than today. And it looks like we only have a 10% chance of rain. Tomorrow we will see a high of 55 degrees and a low of 37 degrees. We have mostly sunny skies with a high of 65 degrees and a low of 39 degrees. Thursday will warm up to a nice 70 degrees during the day, and the low will be 57. I'm hoping for a better weekend forecast, but right now it looks like there will be a 40% chance of rain on Friday with a high of 75 degrees and a low of 62. Saturday will also have a 40% chance of rain with temperatures in the upper 70s and lower 50s. Sunday will be mostly cloudy with highs in the 60s and lows in the 40s, excuse me. Well, that's your weekend forecast for the week. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Cassandra.
College Press Box's Matthew Adams will be in the studio to talk Longhorn sports after the break. Stay tuned.
Now, KVR News at 9 Sports.
Saturday night wasn't date night for the Longhorns men's basketball team. It was game night. They faced off against the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Let's go down to the Irwin Center for the highlights. Opening off in the game here early in the first half, just seconds into the game, Texas Tech looks to pass to Devontae Williams as he makes a three to give the Red Raiders 3-0 lead. Halfway through the first half, Longhorns down 12-7, but Miles Turner would make a corner three, cutting the lead just 2 points for the Longhorns. Coming up here shortly, Isaiah Taylor, just 2 minutes left in the half, passes to Cameron Ridley for the lead as the Longhorns go up 20-19. With just a minute remaining in the half, Javon Felix grabs the rebound, and he would get the ball back here to make his second three-pointer in a row, giving the Longhorns a 26-19 lead, and the Longhorns would head into the half ahead 29-19. Opening the second half, Isaiah Taylor alley-oop to Miles Turner, giving the lead 31-19. Halfway remaining in the game, Prince Ebay blocks Aaron Ross, keeping the lead for the Longhorns 39-31. A couple of minutes later, Isaiah Isaiah Taylor tries to make the layup, but he can't as Prince Ebay is there to clean it up. The Longhorns would win the game 56-41 and head into the Big 12 Conference with a 6-6 record. College Press Box, Brooks Cabina has more from the game.
Return on investment. It's not a term regularly applied to athletes, but with Texas freshman Miles Turner, there certainly has been a running clock on his development. Against Texas Tech, the clock exploded.
I was just confident. Past couple of games, I didn't play with the same, poise and the same confidence I have in the past. Everybody told me just go out there and just play, put everything aside and just, do what I do best.
It was his best. 25 career-high points in confidence. But beforehand, Miles was struggling, leading to extra gym time and long phone conversations with Coach Rick Barnes on how to be successful. After all of that work, Miles Turner played freely against Texas Tech, scoring 25 points, getting 12 rebounds, and blocking 3 shots. That's enough to get you local fame, get put on the Naismith watch, and even look high in the NBA draft stock. But Miles Turner has already said he doesn't care about most of that. It's about the expectation on the inside. The question is, did he find enough in the middle of the game against Tech that'll help him provide that confidence and consistency in the games ahead? The road ahead is filled with 5 straight ranked opponents, and Miles is coming alive at the right time. And Barnes says the freshman has improved dramatically on the defensive end.
I thought it was really the first time this year that he approached the game with a defensive mentality, that he was going to get lost on that end first. And I think by doing that, even when he was on the outside of the zone, you could tell he was really engaged there, and without question, he did the best job that he's done all year playing the middle of it. He did the things that we've been talking about to him today, and so I hope it's a big confidence boost for him.
Brooks Cabina, College Press Box.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Welcome back to KVR News. Last night, Saturday Night Live celebrated its 40th anniversary by welcoming back the show's veterans with 3.5 hours worth of comedy sketches. It was a night that left even the most famous celebrities starstruck. Steve Martin kicked off the show. Other veterans included Will Ferrell, Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers, Eddie Murphy, and of course, Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. Some special celebrity guests also made appearances like Justin Timberlake, Taylor Swift, Betty White, Bradley Cooper, and even Governor Sarah Palin. And what's an episode of SNL without some musical guests? Paul McCartney, Kanye West, Miley Cyrus, and Sia all came out on stage between sketches to perform. The anniversary special had huge success in the ratings with a massive 23.1 million viewers tuning in, only proving that even after 40 years, Saturday Night Live is still in its prime. Now, despite receiving mediocre ratings by Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb.com, 50 Shades of Grey dominated the box office this past weekend. The film opened with a 4-day weekend haul of $94.5 million and became the highest-grossing Valentine's and President's Day opener. Sam Taylor Johnson earned the biggest opening ever for a female director, a title once held by Catherine Hardwicke for the debut of Twilight in 2008. The film also earned the highest international opening for an R-rated film and became the biggest February debut, barely surpassing Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ from 2004. Now, it's no shock that Selena Gomez and Zedd are collaborating, but now we finally have a release date for what they've been working on. The EDM producer posted the cover art for I Want You to Know on his Facebook page, saying it'll be coming out February 23rd. Now, the duo has never confirmed their speculated romantic relationship, but a month ago, Zedd shared a pic of Selena on his Instagram, and they've been spotted getting cozy in public ever since. That's all for your entertainment news. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Stacy. That's all for your news tonight. I'm Chelsey Pena.
And I'm Marievel Santiago. For news and weather updates throughout the week, you can follow us on Twitter at KVR News.
Stay tuned for College Press Box coming up next. Thank you and good night.